So I just wanted to welcome everyone to the Light Beam Hour. This is a part of my online school, the Light Beam Academy, and this program is designed to provide a forum for masterful teachers to share their individual messages and wisdom, and to help people all over the world expand, heal, and awaken their lives. My name is Cecily MacArthur, for those of you who don't know me, and I'm the creator and host of the Light Beam Hour. And let me just introduce myself a little bit for people who are just joining in. I'm a spiritual teacher, coach, speaker, and writer, and my life mission is to help people connect with spirit and awaken their authentic selves, discover their true purpose, embrace change and responsible choices, and create the life of their dreams. After 20-plus years as a successful corporate consultant, I was stressed out, exhausted, and miserable. And then I found out I had cancer. So I was determined to be a survivor, and at that time I'd take advantage of the second chance to turn my life around and fulfill the purpose that God had for me. Today I am healthy, energized, and doing spiritual work that I love as a certified life coach, a workshop trainer, an inspirational speaker, and writer, and starting my new online school, Light Beam Academy. Should be open very soon, hopefully next week is we're scheduled. And I'm also a certified life mastery consultant and a business partner of Mary Morrissey and Life Solutions and the Human Potential Movement. My first book, 7 Ways to Stay Positive in Challenging Time, should be out in June. I'm so excited, very, very soon.
Oh, that is exciting.
Yes, and then I'm also writing a children's book, Mrs. Madison's Magic Garden, which is in a second round for a contest on the next top spiritual author, and stay tuned for that. You'll get a chance to vote again for that. And my guest tonight is Karen Keefe. And let me tell you a little bit about Karen, and then we'll let the program started. So Karen Catherine Keefe is the happiness coach. She has a private life coaching practice called Being Wise, where she teaches happiness generator classes and works with groups and individuals to increase their happiness set point. Karen is a certified life coach, Reiki master, and breathwork and energy healer. She holds a PhD in naturology and the psychology of healing and development, and a master's degree in human resource development, focusing on holistic education. Her background also includes over 25 years of management coaching experience in high-tech companies, where she serves as a human development consultant. Her latest hobby is a meditative art form called Zentangles, which she taught to me recently, and it is a really cool thing. I'd have a chance to talk about that at the end. So I just want to also just set up a little bit about our discussion of the format of the show. So as all of the attendees will remain muted, as you are now, and at different points we're going to, in the interview, we'll just stop and ask for questions and comments. And to participate, you just have to hit 5*, and I'll remind you when we stop. And that raises your hand, and then I'll unmute you, and I'll use your last 3 digits of your phone number to identify you, and then you can just ask questions as you'd like. I really encourage you to ask questions. As you know, when you speak up, you know someone else has got that question, and they just haven't had a chance to ask it yet. So please, everyone learns and gets more out of it when people participate, so we ask you to do that. So now let's get started, and let's talk to Karen. So Karen, tell us about how you what's your path to becoming the happiness coach?
Cecily, thank you so much. It's just an honor to be part of your program and the Light Beam Academy. I spent a little bit of time reflecting on that question, and it was sort of fun. I had said earlier I'm sitting in my office. I have a home office, and I started reflecting on, well, how did I get here? And in that process, I recognize that there are some milestones that I probably would highlight along the way, and you hit most of them in the introduction, but it's just sort of interesting to look at the journey and all the paths that wind us to. It's sort of like a tapestry, right? It's so interesting to look at the weave. You know, we all have amazing tapestries. As part of the storytelling community, I always admire and like meeting new people and hearing how their stories are all woven together. So I'm going to sort of walk through mine a little bit. And one of the major twists in my tapestry was in 1981. And I had made a very conscious choice in 1981 to sort of change my life. The change probably happened a little earlier, but mainly I believe that every experience in our lives adds up to who we are and helps us create who we are. It's a matter of how we choose to react to those life experiences and how we choose to actually generate our life. As a matter of fact, I have on my email signature, I have a tagline that says, "Happiness is a choice, not a destination or a circumstance."
I love that.
I've had that quote for a number of years, probably over a decade, and I'm not really remembering where I got it. I really try to source them, and I actually went online this afternoon to see if I could actually source it, and I couldn't surface it, but. So I don't remember where I got it, but I do remember that in 1981 I was not happy. Life was just really not going the way I wanted it to. I was 26, and at that time a whole lot of my unhappiness was wrapped around a man, somebody I thought I was going to spend the rest of my life with, and as circumstances would have it, that wasn't going to happen, and I needed to sort of pull my act together and turn my life around. So I chose to go to school, and I was determined that I would find happiness if I took on new studies and possibly new work and, got myself out of the situation I had been in. Well, it actually did open up a whole new world for me. I started in a program at the Interface, which no longer exists, but at the time they were in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and I worked with that program and earned a master's degree in human resource development, and where I really started to understand the integration of mind, body, and spirit through holistic education and holistic counseling and holistic healing. And in my work world, I transitioned from being a technical trainer to starting to train soft skills, which always, it was a riot to me why we have that name. I think it's a misnomer because soft skills are actually a lot harder to train and also master.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah. So all those soft skills of leading people and managing and, creating and innovation and all of that certainly had a place in corporate America doing that sort of work. And as part of that, I also studied music and imagery. And I started to learn how the brain worked. There was a couple of programs that I remember teaching called Becoming an Everyday Genius. It was really about brain function and how to tap our brain functioning and the subconscious programming using visualizations and affirmations and really tapping into spirit. Now, in the work setting, we don't talk about spirit, and we sort of edge onto the emotional realm, but we really were doing that work under the goal-setting horizons, right? How do we create more productivity, etc. So I really spent a lot of my time doing this work in a corporate environment and from the training avenue. As my journey continued, in 1989 I became a non-smoker. Now that has a whole story all by itself, but what shifted for me there not only was some my own health and well-being was I started recognizing the power of breath and what it meant to breathe, and I got introduced to breath work in the early 1990s. And through that process, I did a lot of my own healing and became a facilitator of that work. And I got very interested in energy work, and it's sort of another sort of soft skills, right, is recognizing the energies that are around us. I started learning about Reiki and became a Reiki master in the mid-1990s, and that springboarded to even sort of more interesting study in the study of naturology. And I got my PhD in the late 1990s and really integrated the energy work, the imagery work, some hands-on methodology and polarity, etc., and really started bringing together a number of various different threads into my tapestry that then launched my Being Wise business. And the Being Wise focus at that time was looking at re-energizing, rejuvenating, reconnecting, and really opening up to a practice that at that time I was calling myself a well-being facilitator. Now everyone's calling themselves a life coach. It's sort of the same work, right?
Same work,
but,
definitely the same work.
And from that, I started working with people, and they would come to me for all sorts of reasons, and any aspect of their life that didn't feel like they were on a path of well-being, we would work with. So I worked with people who were struggling with relationships, either getting out of them or getting into them or creating them, working with people who were becoming non-smokers, people who were looking at lowering their stress, dealing with grief, anxiety, trying to create new wealth, looking at their education paths and career pathing. So literally any number of reasons why people were coming to me to help clear their energy and set them on a new path for themselves. And we would help them create the next phases of their life. And I was very invested in, leaving corporate America and building my private practice, but I found it really challenging around cash flow. And that at that time I discovered that if I wasn't involved in the insurance industry in some way, it was challenging to create that energy flow around money. So I was, when confronted with that, I literally took a step back and said, this is the work I really want to do. I want to work with people. I want to help them create what they want in their future. And I ended up reframing my work or redefining how I looked at bringing all of my knowledge and together, and I translated it into the work of organizational development. And I started to recognize that the type of working with leaders and managers and key contributors in a corporate setting actually is the work of healing. Again, we don't call it that, but it's really helping people get clear on their goals, their aspirations, their desires, their dreams, and releasing the stuff that doesn't work, clearing out the stuff that is getting in people's way and dropping those barriers or working through them, around them, or whatever, and really creating a future, which is all about healing. So I'm still in the business of healing people and organizations, and I still do the Being Wise program as well, and I lead a very full life. So
yes,
I've been doing that for quite some time. I've been quite happy doing all of that, and if we sort of fast forward on my journey to a couple of years ago, I actually pulled all of that together and decided that since life coaching was something that I was already good at, let's formalize that, and I got certified in the as an IPEC life coach, and earned my professional coaching, my PCC from the International Coaching Foundation. So that was sort of another interesting learning experience to bring in that set of information into things that I had already known. And in that process, I also changed work locations and started working for a software company called the MathWorks here in Massachusetts. And in that process, I started launching management training and leadership development work and was doing some research through a institute called the Best Practices Institute that has, which is a great organization for capturing best practices in human resources. And I discovered, in looking at one of their webinars, a book by Marcy Shimoff. And Marcy's book, she had a webinar and was talking about her book and the process that she uses for increasing people's happiness. Her book is called Happy for No Reason.
Great book.
Yeah, the title just grabbed me instantly, and when I watched the seminar and the webinar rather, and heard Marcy speak about what she had crafted, she did just a terrific job of compiling what she calls happiness habits. And the book is an easy-to-read book. It's easy to work with, and it has a great framework. And for me, most of the methodologies that she has in the book I knew about and I had studied before, and many of them I taught and was already using in my Being Wise practice. It was just that she'd put it in a very nice package. And as it was, I ended up using that book as I bought a case of books. And I gave them to friends. I literally would hand them to clients, and it was like, we would be working in a certain section, and we'd go to this section together. So it became a great reference guide, and I do support her work, her book, and use it wholeheartedly. And so what I discovered that, over the last decade or so, working with hundreds of people in high-tech, corporations and in my private practice, is that no matter what people are, what challenge people are faced with, if you keep pulling the layers back, it always comes down to what they're after is what makes them happy. How do we release stress and burdens and belief structures so that we get to who we truly are, who our authentic self is? And in that, authentic place of really being connected to who we are, we recognize happiness, or we find happiness. So, and still, people will come to me, and we will sort of work through all of the different aspects of life or whatever challenge is ahead of them, and we really land on the fact that if we were to create this desire, this dream would produce some level of happiness. Now, in Marcy's framework, in her book, she talks about the fact that there's, kind of a 4-point scale. There's not being happy or unhappy, and we all know what that's about. I call them the disses, right? The dis-ease, the discontent, the dismay, the disgruntled, the disenchanted, the discouraged. All those disses.
A lot of those.
We know all those, right? And everyone's got them, and we can recognize them. And then if you sort of move up a notch, we've got happy for no reason. Happy for bad reasons. Right, so there's not happy, and then there's happy for bad reasons. And all of that, in that category, it's really about a false happiness or a false facade or a pretending. And we do that in a number of different ways, but most of us do it through our addictive behaviors. So we all have some level of addictive behavior. Some of it actually manifested in drugs or alcohol or food or sex or there's any number of addictive behaviors we could go into. But it produces a type of euphoria which may be viewed as happy or seems happy, but it's really not healthy and it's more destructive. Another dis, right?
And temporary.
And temporary, correct.
Great.
And then if you step it up one more notch, we have happy for good reasons. And everybody wants to create a life with happy for good reasons. You want the good job and the great mutual loving relationship and the great family life and the good health and well-being and physical life and good career and all of that, and a great place to live and a good car to drive and nice vacations and a good life, right? So everyone knows what that's like, but that's happy for good reasons. And the ultimate, that highest step, is happy for no reason. Happy because you're happy because from an inner peace point of view, a place of really feeling connected to who you are, no matter what the circumstance. Mm-hmm. And certainly it's easier to have ourselves feeling that level of connection and happiness and peace and expansion if we have good things surrounding us. But what she points out in her book is that even those who sort of have the happy for good reasons, things happen to them. They did a study with folks who had won the lottery, right? And they studied them about, which we think, a lot of us think that's the ultimate. We'll win the lottery, we'll, get millions of dollars or a good chunk of change, and all my problems will be solved and I'll be happy. And what they discovered is that this notion of a happiness set point, that indeed there would be a point where you're just about a certain level of happiness, and if you won the lottery, it would spike up, but over a year after that, people would return to just about the same level of happiness as they were before they won the lottery, whether they were unhappy or in the miserable state or in a semi-happy state or a very happy state. They would come back to that like a thermostat. And the reverse was true. Though she talks about a study that for people who were hit with huge tragedy, folks who had been befelled by an accident and turned into really physical limitations or challenges of becoming a paraplegic. And again, after about a year, and certainly there's after the experience or after the accident, but after time settles it out a little bit, they go back to being just about as happy as they were before. Mm-hmm. So this notion of having a happiness set point is what the book works on. Yes. And she describes 7 steps to literally shifting your happiness set point up, so that no matter what your circumstance, whether it be, in the fact that you have good things surround you or disruptive things happening around you, you can always come back to your center or your happy, authentic self. And that's what she works on.
Karen, I don't want to take a whole lot of time to go through a lot of details to the 7 steps, but can you walk through them quickly so people understand the framework a little bit?
Absolutely, yeah. So just simply, she uses this great metaphor of building your home for happiness. And with any home, you start with the foundation, and that's step 1. We'd look at taking ownership for your happiness and recognizing that we indeed, going back to that original quote, we have choice. We choose to create happiness from our perspective. And once we have that foundation in place, we'd put the pillars up, the 4 corners of our house, and we examine the pillar of the mind. And I love this one. It's about don't believe everything that you think, because we've been giving ourselves thoughts, or we create beliefs that really don't serve us. So we have to unearth some of those and reset those. So we have to question our thoughts, but reprogram ourselves. The 3rd step is looking at the pillar of the heart and really learning to lead from the heart, letting love lead our life, and from that expansion point, find a way to be grateful and find forgiveness and really extend kindness out beyond ourselves. Step 4 is the pillar of the body, and to recognize from a physical standpoint, how do we make ourselves happy? How do we nourish our body and energize ourselves and tune into the wisdom of our body so that we really can enjoy our physical being as well as how we move through our life. And step 5 is the fourth pillar, the pillar of the soul, or really connecting to our spirit, plug into spirit so that we can really connect to what our highest purpose is, what our highest power is, and to allow our life to unfold in the way that it should. So once we have the foundation and the 4 pillars, then we put the roof on. And the roof is really examining purpose and really discovering what your passion is and trying to understand how do we find inspiration in every moment, how do we stay present and start to recognize that we can contribute to a planet in a way that really goes beyond ourselves and our own needs, but how do we serve others? And then once we have the roof on, it's looking at the landscape. What's the garden that surrounds your house of happiness and
gotta have the garden.
Oh yeah, you got to have the garden for sure. How do we look at cultivating, nurturing relationships and surrounding yourself with powerful, positive, energetic people that will support your life, and how do we look at the world as our family and really contribute to the world through a view of extending ourselves beyond our own little community into a global consciousness. So those are the 7 steps of trying to unearth the inner sunshine, that inner happiness.
I love this. I think it's a great framework, and I think it works so well. And it's very impressive the way she is put together and how it makes so much sense. I know you have some tips for people to sort of get started with being able to set up their foundation and get going. Can you talk a little bit more about those?
Sure. Yeah, I had a tough time picking out which ones I was going to share tonight. But what I did was I just asked I literally went inside and asked my intuition. It's like, what are some of the things that people could take away from our conversation tonight that they could immediately put into place? So I really invite all of you who are listening on this call to jot down a few notes. I'm going to give you 3 or 4 really good tips that you can do. It takes almost no time. So that's the other thing about taking on new work like this is that people are challenged with, how do I create more time in my life? Well, the tips I'm going to give you, you almost have to take no time at all.
Karen,
so the first one.
Can we go through the first one, and then we'll ask people for questions or comments about as you go through.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great idea. So the first one is, everyone's heard this, but I really want to bring this point home, is that you've heard that phrase, chin up, right? Everyone's heard chin up. And physiologically, it actually works. The way that we're structured, if you look up, literally look up into the sky or look up at the ceiling, it lifts your energy. It shifts the energy internally. And it moves you from a contracted state to a more expanded state. And then if you add a deep breath and a kind thought and a smile, you literally are cooking up some happiness. You can literally do that instantly. So I'm going to ask you to try it right now. I want you to, everyone on the call, would you round your shoulders down and forward, sort of down and forward, and put your chin on your chest and look down at the floor. And as you do that, kind of crinkle your forehead and just notice how you feel. Now I'm doing that, and while I do it, I start to feel kind of cramped, kind of grumpy. I don't know how anybody else feels, but just doing that kind of feels cranky and grumpy. Now, just pull your shoulders back, point your chin up, literally lift your chin up, look at the ceiling or the sky. I'm assuming we're all inside, so look at the ceiling. Put a great big smile on your face. You might not feel like smiling, but just do it. Open your mouth and take a deep breath in. Just there you go. Now notice how you feel. Don't you feel a little better, more alive?
Mm-hmm.
And I know I feel a little happier when I do that.
Absolutely.
And, you can do that in 2 seconds. When you find yourself, when you find your shoulders up around your elbows and you're looking down and you're feeling grumpy, stretch back, breathe in, look up.
I love that, Karen. It's just so simple, but it really does. Just changing your whole body posture and breathing and taking that moment to just expand yourself. It's great.
Absolutely. Now, I'll tell you, for those of us sitting at computers all day or working with grumpy customers or what have you, it just takes a moment to stretch back and do that. The next phone call you take, or in between a meeting, or no matter what your job is, if you can take that just moment to breathe in, look up, and put a smile on your face, it shifts your whole energy upward.
Oh, that's
I'll be
great.
glad to take questions if people have questions about that.
I think that's great. So again, if you just push on your phone 5*, and that will raise your hand if you have a question for Karen or a comment on this tip and how you felt, or whatever you'd like to say at this point. 5*. Not looking like we've got any participants right now, so let's just keep moving. You have another tip. Let's go tip number 2.
I do. So this one is equally as short, simple to do. I got this one from one of my participants from my happy hours, the teleclass that I run with about the Happy for No Reason book. I call them happy hours, and
I love that.
I love it too. It's great. I have happy hours on Monday nights. It's terrific.
No cocktails though.
No, we don't need cocktails. We do energizing in another way.
Excellent.
That would be happy for no reason, for bad. Right?
That's right. Absolutely.
Now, not that I'm against cocktails, mind you, but we're focusing on shifting our energy. And,
definitely.
This was from one of my participants who said we were talking about affirmations, and she gave us a very simple affirmation. And I'll say it, and then I'll repeat it later if you're writing or taking notes down. But it's just one that is so simple, and it just grabs me, and I started using it immediately, and it really is terrific. The affirmation is, I am happy for this day, and I expect good things. Surprise me.
I love that.
I love it, because you know what it does? It brings... it sets the whole motion of the day. It really, it combines gratitude, it triggers intention and expectation, and key is discovery, opening to opportunity, that surprise, like stay alert to being, having a miracle occur.
Can you say it again, Karen, just so people can get it again? I love that.
Yeah. So the statement is, I am happy for this day, and I expect good things. Surprise me. I'll say it again. I am happy for this day, and I expect good things or great things. Surprise me.
I love that. I'm going to steal that, too.
Yeah, no, use it. It's terrific. And I'll tell you, it really blends all of those things into one little simple statement. And how long does it take to say that? You can put it on your refrigerator or your computer or your mirror, or just remember it. I'm happy for this day. I expect great things. Surprise me. All right, so that's tip 2. Now, tip 3 is similar to this. I got this from my friend Jane Graham, and Jane is one of my coaches. We all of us in our work need to have people that we work with, and she's one of my dear friends as well. And she uses this technique called, wouldn't it be great if this happened? So she creates and manifests with, and what this actually does is trigger both the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain. So the right brain function, responds to the energetic of great. Wouldn't it be great? And this happened is, of course, when you fill in the blank, right? You fill in the blank with whatever you want to create or have happen. and that the right side of the left side of the brain actually picks up on the what. So the right side is the how and how it will feel, and the left side is the what and the how do you phrase it. And I was just talking to her the other day, and she told me about how her daughter, who was a young college grad, was challenged in our environment, our economy right now to get a job. And she posted on the refrigerator, won't it be great when I have my new teaching job? And she had it literally posted on the refrigerator, and everywhere she had it in her car and on the phone. And so she kept seeing it. Won't it be great when I have this new teaching job? She's a scientist and a biology teacher, and she was looking for a combination of a specific job in a particular, grade, etc. And she then lived in the question. So one of the things about using affirmations is you set it out there, and then notice how the universe lines up for you, right? And with that simple statement, it actually triggers your brain to observe things and find people and meet people and recognize, the flow of abundance. And sure enough, she got the absolute perfect job for herself, teaching the combination of chemistry and biology, which is kind of a unique thing, and at a reasonable wage and close to home. I mean, the whole deal came through for her, and it's just out of really creating that little phrase. Wouldn't it be great if this happened?
That's
and so
an easy
tag that
one.
on to whatever you're desiring or dreaming.
We all have things that we would like to happen. That's great.
Yeah, and so you can phrase it in that way, but know what you're really doing neurologically is tapping into good brain function.
But also saying it with enthusiasm. So did you?
Oh,
really
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you pump up your energy while you say that, and you put the energy out. The law of attraction says that whatever energy you focus on expands, right? So that's what you're doing with that little phrase. Now, so here's my last tip.
Okay.
So the first one was chin up. The second one was, I'm happy for this day. I expect good things. Surprise me. And the third tip is, wouldn't it be great if this happened? And the last one is something that I literally do every day. It's literally as I get out of bed and I put one foot on the floor, I say thank. And as I put the other foot on the floor, I say you. And as I literally, waddle off to the bathroom, I say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, right down the hall. And I literally start my day with this gratitude. And as I sort of am doing that, I also add in, I'm happy for this day, and I expect good things. Surprise me. So, I combine them. You have freedom to combine all of these things.
I love that.
It's simple, but it takes just a little time and persistence. So I really invite you to try doing any one of these things or all of them. It takes just an instant for 21 days. Right? 21 days is what it takes to create a new habit and to literally reform the neurostructure in your brain and the way that your physiological presence is. So I really would encourage you to try it for 21 days and see what happens. And I'll tell you that for myself, it's not easy getting out of bed for lots of different reasons. But for me, I have some ailments that make it really painful when my first step on the floor is not comfortable. And as a matter of fact, it's extremely uncomfortable. I'm in pain. I have a good set of arthritis and ailments in my feet and ankles, so it's really agony. And what used to happen for me is I would let that pain, like the first thing when you get up, you're waking up, I would let that color my day. I was one of those people who would get up on the wrong side of the bed because I was in pain. And so it shifted. Now, the pain hasn't lessened a whole lot, but I'm really learning how to not let the pain affect who I am.
It's not the focus.
And then I move on to my day, and after I start moving, the discomfort, things start flowing and discomfort goes, and it's okay. But it would really be, a tough start. So I know for myself, just doing that, even though when I put my first foot down, I say thank, I have this sharp pain that goes up my leg, and I put the other foot down and I say you, and I start walking, thank you, thank you, thank you, I open to happy for no reason. I open to that rather than falling into the discomfort or the dis-ease.
Wow. All right. Those are an excellent tips, and I love the idea of people trying them for 21 days and trying to make a new habit, versions of what you've talked about, but all just setting the commitment to yourself to start switching some small things. These aren't big things, but helping you to be happier. Now, given the time, I want to get into the next piece, Karen, because I know you have prepared a guided imagery for us, and I'd love to for us to be able to make sure we have time for that. So you want to tell us about what you're going to do and what it is, and then actually, we should probably stop real quick. If anyone has a question, we'll do 5-star at this point because we're going to move into Karen's next piece, which will be a guided imagery. We have a quiet crowd today. That's fine. So let's move forward, and let's go right into it.
Okay. So all you need to do for this guided imagery is to literally follow the guidance, the sound of my voice, and the words that I give you to imagine. Now, I'm going to ask you to imagine as vividly as possible. Now, some of us see things better. Some of us feel things better. Some of us actually hear or see words coming towards us. So whatever works for you, know that it's perfect and that it is working. We're going to do a progressive relaxation using the breath, and then we're going to do some visualization. We're going to use a timeline, and we're going to discover a gift. So to do this guided imagery, I'd like you to find yourself in a comfortable position and uncross your arms and legs so that you are sitting maybe with your hands palm up or palms down on your knees. Your feet are uncrossed, and would you take a moment to just move your head, turn your head all the way to the right, not so you're uncomfortable, just put a little stretch in it, and then turn all the way back, all the way over to the left, and then come back to center. And as you do, start to notice your breath. Allow your breath to come in and out of your body, breathing easily. And imagine that with each and every breath you take, you allow more and more relaxation to move into your body. Allow your breath to relax you. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out any tension or tightness. Bring your awareness to the top of your head and breathe in relaxation. Allow it to flow down your face so that it becomes soft and gentle. Breathing relaxation down the back of your head into your neck. Allow relaxation to flow into your shoulders, into the big muscles of your arms, down through your elbows, down to your forearms, through your wrists, and all the way out your fingertips. Imagine relaxation flowing down your arms, out your fingertips. Imagine the sensation of relaxation flowing down from the neck into your upper chest and upper back. With each and every breath you take, with every beat of your heart, allow relaxation to move deeper and deeper into your whole being, into the center, into the torso, into the lower abdomen, into the belly and the back. Breathing in relaxation and breathing out any tension or tightness. Allow the sensation of relaxation to move down into the big muscles of the legs, down to the thighs and knees, relaxing the shins and calves, all the way down to the ankles and feet, flowing relaxation right down out of your toes and into the earth. as if relaxation was this flowing river of liquid light flowing down from the top of your head, down through your whole body, through your arms and hands, legs and feet, and literally flowing into the earth. Feeling yourself grounded, centered, calm, and relaxed. Great. Now, from this place of relaxation, I'd like you to recall a time when you were happy. So look back in your history. Hopefully it's not too far back, but you might go all the way back to childhood or sometime even just last week. A time of happiness when you really felt a sense of lightness or buoyancy, that you were feeling fully alive and vital, energetic. You had a sense of openness, expansion, really felt love or compassion for yourself or for others, had a passion for life, that sense of really connected, being at peace, and being fully present. That's a way of describing happiness, that open, expanded presence of being fully alive. And I want you to recall that time and that memory just to go get the feeling. Get that feeling and literally let it fill up your body. And as you do, you should have a smile on your face, remembering that time of feeling energized, alive, vital. Now let that feeling of happiness continue to radiate, to expand. Let your breath magnify that feeling. And as you do, we're going to do a little journey. We went back in time a little bit. Now I want you to imagine there's a timeline that goes behind you that we went back into your history. And now I'm going to ask you to imagine there's a timeline stretching far out in front of you. And I want you to imagine that you can step forward in time. We're going to move forward in time about 6 months. So just in your mind, imagine your time today. Go forward 6 months. Count it out in your mind, the months. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And just imagine yourself being in that month. What's going on? Is there a special holiday that month or something that's special for you? And stepping forward in time, I want you to bring with you that sense of happiness, that sense of aliveness and buoyancy, of being fully connected into who you authentically are, being happy for no reason. Getting that sense of happiness, feeling fully empowered. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that you can ponder on right now and then reflect on again later. Now that you've arrived here in your future, really owning and feeling and sensing your happiness, are you doing anything differently than you did 6 months ago? What little habits did you take on that allowed you to create more happiness? What are you doing differently? What does it feel like to have stepped forward in time, visualizing, recognizing that you've expanded your happiness from 6 months ago? What does it feel like in your body? How are you moving with more confidence and more ease, more aliveness, more awareness? Who's around you? What do you hear yourself saying? How are you interacting with others? And what are they saying back to you? I want you to explore this a little bit further. Notice any images that come up, any emotions or sensations you have, and make them brighter, more vibrant, sort of turn up the volume on them. Enjoy your experience of being there and really soak it up. Create a little heaven on earth for yourself. And now in this state of happiness and energy, I want you to notice out in front of you in your imagination, there is a gift for you. It might be wrapped, it might be in a box, or it might not be, but it is a present for you, a symbol of your happiness, something to recognize and acknowledge the work that you've done to turn your happiness up. It could be any kind of a symbol. It could be a word. It could be an item. It could be a live thing like a plant or an animal, like an animal totem, or it could be an object. It could be an everyday object or a special symbol. I want you to accept that gift as a gift from your intuition, from your higher self, as a recognition for the effort of just tuning in tonight and also bringing yourself to this program. And I'm going to ask you to take that gift in your imagination and remember it vividly as you refocus on your breath. Take a long breath in and out. And as you do, start to bring your awareness back to your fingertips and your toes. Wiggle them just a little bit, bringing with you that sense of connected and happiness right back to the present day. Carry with you that sense of aliveness and that gift, and bring your awareness back to the room. And in a moment, we'll ask to hear from you how that experience went. What gifts did you get? And I'll turn that back over to Cecily.
Oh, Karen, that was beautiful. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed that. I got so relaxed. And I did get a gift. I love it. I got an acorn.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it showed up when you said gift, and boom, it was in my hand. And it's symbolic on a lot of levels to me, so it actually makes me a little teary-eyed. So that's really lovely. So thank you so much. And I'd like to open it up now to anyone else want to share that experience, have a question for Karen, or want to say what their gift was, or what the experience they had with the visualization. It's 5-star. Again, Karen, we got a quiet crowd, so it doesn't look like anyone else wants to share. But I will tell you that it was lovely, and I appreciate that. And we are running out of time, so I do want to. I know you have a closing that you'd like to do. Just want to talk a little bit more about the kinds of things that you have to offer to people and what's going on for you.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, put it in a nutshell or an acorn shell.
An acorn. There you go. That was great.
I love the acorn too. My home is in an oak grove, so sometimes I'm not all that appreciative of all the acorns, but most of the time I like
more than you need, right?
I have an abundance of acorns. Yes.
It wasn't a positive symbol for you. Yeah.
No, it really is. But it's just sort of like I have many of them. I could share them with everyone on the line. So a couple of things that I might highlight is that I am holding happy hours. They're teleclasses based on Happy for No Reason book. I'm glad to work with people one-on-one in life coaching sessions, and I do work with study groups and partners who want to come as pairs or families, etc. I also am going to be, through the Light Being Academy, going to be offering more recordings, guided imageries like the one we just did, really focusing on specific affirmations around the Wheel of Life and working with mind, body, spirit guided imagery sessions, and really focusing on practicing some workouts with the happiness habits. So stay tuned for those. Come back to the Light Being Academy for those sort of things from the Being Wise corner.
And if you want more information about Karen, we will have some information up at lightbeamacademy.com/happiness, HAPPINESS. So that's lightbeamacademy.com/happiness. And Karen, we'll put information on there on how to get in touch with you. So if people wanted to do that,
that'd be great.
Okay, that's great.
Now, how much time do I have left to close out here?
I've got about 4 minutes.
Okay.
So it's close. We don't have to stop. You've got a few minutes. So I wanted to thank you for all of the wonderful tips and framework that you started with, and the tips, and I'm a little spacey now after doing that great visualization. So you've been a terrific guest, and you've been very generous with all the offerings that you have given us today. So I know you have a special ending, so I'll turn it over to you and let you wrap it up for what you would like to close with.
Okay. Well, thanks. It's been great fun, and as you promised, the hour went by lickety-split, didn't it?
It does zip by, yeah.
I was walking through my backyard. I have a lovely garden in my backyard in the Labyrinth, which is a meditative walking path, and I always stop to take a look at the lovely things in my garden and be grateful for them. And one of the things that's out there is a set of prayer flags, and I wanted to close with one of the prayers on the flag. It's almost a poem and a prayer, but it's really looking at breath and using the power of the breath. It's a great symbolic use or demonstration of the law of attraction, and more specifically, the law of the circle. Every single thing in the universe is composed of a light substance, electronic light substance or energy, and there are two activities of this electronic energetic substance, and one is radiation, which means you're putting energy forth or sending out, and the other is magnetization, which means pulling or energy back or drawing energy back in. And we're all familiar with these activities. There's all sorts of it's commonly referred to as giving and receiving, cause and effect, action and reaction, sowing and reaping, supply and demand, and the breath, the in-breath and the out-breath. The in-breath and the out-breath is the law of attraction. It tells us that what we focus on expands, and the law of the circle connects that in-breath and out-breath to magnify and expand your intention. So this little prayer really brings forth those laws in a way that I think is a great way to end. So I invite you to listen to these phrases and to breathe along with me as we really tap into the power of the law of the circle and the law of attraction, and we let it do its work through the breath. So breathe easily and long and deep. Breathing in, I feel gratitude. Breathing out, I give thanks. Breathing in, I invite kindness. Breathing out, I am kind. Breathing in, I feel love. Breathing out, I offer love. Breathing in, I know compassion. Breathing out, I am compassion. Breathing in, I feel joy. Breathing out, I celebrate. Breathing in, I am still. And breathing out, I am peace. May you and I be safe. May you and I be happy. May you and I be healthy. May you and I live with ease. Namaste.
Namaste, Karen. Lovely. Thank you again so much. Perfect ending for a fabulous call. And thank you, everyone, for attending. We really appreciate you being here for the Light Beam Hour. And we have another call coming up, just to let people know that on June 2nd will be the next one, and Sandy Daly will be with us, and she'll be talking about her book and her coaching practice and what she does. So thank you so much, and we'll see you again on the 2nd. Take care, everyone. Thanks, Karen. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now. Thank you.